Okay, Thursday, 29th of February, 2024. So, how to be more masculine in the age of wokeness. Now, I have really found that it's down to your character, your confidence, your abilities, your talents, your skills. If you can go out in the world and do more, achieve more, create more, and be proud of yourself that you have done more things, you've been to places, you've done stuff, you've done cool, challenging, unique things, you've built businesses, or you've traveled, you've climbed mountains, you've done things, you become more assertive, you increase your confidence, you increase your abilities, you increase your talents. Just by virtue of going out into the world and doing something with your time, something challenging, something scary, something that pushes your comfort zone, something that makes you proud, something that makes you feel proud of yourself and happy you went through the struggle and the hardship and the challenge. Because by doing so, you just become better. You become a better person. In October 2021, in a space of a week and a half, I climbed 2 mountains, Snowdon in Wales and then Scafell Pike in Lake District in England. Priceless adventure. Glad I did that. I remember the night before I was going to climb Scafell Pike, I was talking with someone about the route and how long and how far it is. And that night I was thinking to myself, what have I got myself into? Yeah, I climbed it, got up nice and early, climbed up it, took, I can't remember, 2.5 hours, 2.75 hours, 3 hours, I can't remember. Got to the top, got back down again, no problems. Happy. Very happy I did it. Since then, I've climbed it another time, one more time. When I climbed up Ben Nevis, it took me about 2 or so days to get there because I went via Glasgow and stayed there for a few days, 1 or 2 nights. And then I climbed it. It was very easy. I did loads of training for that in the gym, resistance training basically, lunges and whatever else. Climbed it. Extremely happy and proud of myself that I did. I'm proud of myself that I went through all the effort of going there and climbing it. Now, the mountain itself, the object, is immaterial, because for me, it was mountains, the whole journey, the whole travelled, everything. Really, really cool. And then in 2022, 2023, in the second half of 22 and the first half of 23, I was preparing and I ran a marathon. And I was looking back and thinking, I'm happy I spent those Sunday mornings getting up early around 5, 6 a.m, 4 a.m, whatever, before sunrise, to go out there and run. And every week I ran 3 kilometers more, and I built up, started at like 20 kilometers, and over time got to 42 kilometers, and I was doing it again and again, easy and easy. I missed the routine, missed that discipline. That's powerful. Those kind of things put hairs on your chest. Those kind of adventures, those kinds of experiences. I'm glad I did that. And then when I did the marathon, it was South Wales. Amazing. I spent a few days there. Nice long weekend. Booked it in January. The race was in July. Perfect. There was no excuses and everything's committed. And looking back, I am so glad I did that. So glad and proud of myself that I went through that experience. And doing those things just made me more masculine, more assertive. When I had a road trip around Scotland in July 2021, afterwards I felt more resourceful. I have a situation. I'm sure I can figure out a way of finding a solution. And now I feel that there's always a way, there's always a solution, there's always a third option. A business acquaintance of mine, a year and a half ago or something, was talking about a certain business model and how people were doing it illegal. I really can't remember the details, unimportant. And then he said something interesting. He said that if the people had just thought for another 5 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, 5 minutes, they would have figured out a legal way to do what they wanted to do. Again, I can't remember the details. But that was an interesting principle. It's like if you look at something and then think about it longer, you can find a third, fourth, fifth, whatever option. More solutions. Very nice. Okay, interesting principle. But then I realized that and internalized it when I had the road trip, 2,000 kilometers over 2 odd weeks around Scotland. Technically, it was like 5 days, but I spent a good few days in Glasgow and Edinburgh, and then drove all the way around Scotland. Even when I first got into Scotland, I was talking to some locals, and there was a certain road I was going to go down near Applecross. It's 11 miles long, so it's like 16 16 or so kilometers long. This mountain pass, thin road, hairpin turns, steep, and not much space. So they were describing it as though it was difficult and scary and dangerous, which it objectively was. And there was warning signs: don't do this in the summer, in the winter, not in the winter, not advised for novice drivers, things like that. Fair enough. I did it. I got pictures and videos of it. It was easy, great fun. And that's because I had a lot of driving experience over the years. So it builds up, like that masculinity, like that confidence, that internal confidence, that assertiveness. It builds up over time through hardship, adventure, travel, doing scary stuff, doing and going to scary places. Mountains. Yeah, where else? Lake District, Peak District. I've travelled every corner of the UK, furthest north, south, east, west, highest and lowest points. Nice little achievement. Very proud of myself I did that. So then I can say, when it comes to doing stuff and what do you want to do? We'll figure it out, just go. And that confidence, we'll figure it out, has come from just doing stuff, getting out the house, going to different places. I said to an acquaintance of mine back in October 2023, I was in Gran Canaria and there was a waterfall behind me. And I sent him a message and I said, I think you should get out the house more, just as a general idea. We know each other quite well and we spent a lot of time together. So I said to him, I think you should get out the house more, as opposed to going to these two same places all the time. And he laughed and didn't respond to it and ignored the response. I was thinking, that's the wrong attitude to have. And then the same person, I said to him, a year or a half ago, I said to him, should we go to Wales? I said, no, it's too far. And it's like, we're not walking there, we're going to have a day trip. And then maybe 6 months later, so I guess, 2 odd years ago, I can't remember the details, but 2022, 2021, 2022, 21, something like that, I said to him, let's climb Snowdon. This would have been 2022, I guess, spring 22. Let's climb it. And he said, no, I can't risk an injury. And he's older than me by, a handful of years. But he's not like 30, 40 years older than me. I was like, okay, fine. You're not an old man, but you're a bit older than me. Just, okay, whatever. Okay, didn't think much of it, but I was like, okay. 6-8 months later, so 2022, yeah, I had a half marathon in Alton Towers, Alton Towers in England. And I noticed in the race, people there were generally older than me, generally my age and older. I could just visibly tell. And 1 or 2 people with grey hair, so I thought they're obviously way older than me. And I was thinking, if these people here can do a half marathon, 22 kilometres, but him over there wouldn't go with me to a mountain. Now, they're not the same thing, but they're both physically strenuous. I was thinking, that's an interesting mismatch. Okay, fair enough. We'll have our own different routes and adventures in life, fair enough. But the principle, by doing and going places, even by having controlled stress of travelling to different countries, travelling abroad, places where you have to do paperwork or visas and beyond, the more you do things, the more difficult challenges you face, the easier more things become. So I was thinking, my friend, this acquaintance, who really should have done something adventurous, something to make himself proud, something that would have been out of the ordinary, something different, because he's older than me and never gone to Wales. Now, of course, understand, we all have different values and priorities and objectives in life. And his value isn't to travel, isn't to go to Wales. But I floated the idea. He never responded to, well, he rejected the idea. And then 2023 and 2024, because in England we got a 4-day bank holiday weekend for Easter. And I floated the idea of going somewhere, doing something, and always never really responded. I was thinking, wrong attitude to have, but okay, fine, different values and priorities. So overall, the more scary stuff we do, the more masculine we become, because we have it in a confidence. The more people we see, the more we socialize, the more women we date, the more we can handle different kind of situations, the more we drive, the more we do stuff, the more we build, yes, the more victories and defeats we see in business. It's very powerful. Years ago, in 2014, 15, around that time, I used to think that I was cursed. Why, I can't make money. I'm not allowed to make money. I'm cursed. I'm cursed. I'm cursed. That was that small little limiting belief I had, a decade ago. It wasn't too serious, but it was significant enough. It was a plurality of my thoughts. Not the majority, but the plurality. The largest, but still not 51% plus. But okay. And then a year and a half, 2 odd years later, 2016, something like that. I'm sure it was. Spring 2016. I had a nice big major success in business, and it obliterated the negative beliefs completely. And that was by doing stuff. That was by seeing a victory. No matter how small or humble or specific or obscure, it was a victory. In this case, it was a financial victory. And if there's one victory, in this case financial, you can have other victories as well. Financial victory, emotional, corporal, physical body, or spiritual, or mental, physical, you name it. If you can have one victory, you can have it again and again and again. And those victories have helped obliterate negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, obliterated them. So it's like the more victories and defeats you see in life, the better. The more you experience, the more you feel, the more you have, the better. Now, people say you learn more through defeats than victories. I agree, the principle, but the premise, I disagree with that, because you can still learn from victories as well if you're humble enough to be able to be retrospective and say, well, had that gone differently or had that gone wrong, this situation now would be completely different. So take note of those little situations and here and there. Had this been different, then I wouldn't have won. So I need to be careful of that. So those things like that. Seeing victories in life, no matter how small or humble, but consistent ones as well. This is why I have a few daily habits that I work on, including this video. More daily habits, generally the better. Yes. And doing stuff in life, going out there and doing amazing things, and building stuff and doing things and going places, travel or learning language even. I would say I have got B1, certainly quite possibly B2 Spanish after nearly 6 years of learning it. I'm proud of that. That makes me proud, like spending the time, energy, money, dedication, effort to do that. Priceless. So we become more masculine by doing things in life that make us proud, increasing our confidence, expanding that comfort zone. We always want to expand the comfort zone. Very important. And the more of these things we do and have, the more achievements we can claim and be proud of. Not necessarily boast, but to be proud of. And although that pride, that confidence lifts us as a man, as a person, as an individual, as a character, how unique you are. Yeah. So otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.